Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Blaine.
I'm Brian.
I'm Gus.
No, I'm Gus. You're Geoff.
Okay.
This is okay. I got to be real careful how I phrase this.
Okay.
This is our last podcast
Ever.
in this location right here.
Ever.
We're keeping the set.
Forever.
We're just moving like 50 feet that way. You might notice it might look a little different when we come back, but it's going to be the same. We're going to be in a temporary spot for a couple weeks.
It's just not the same now that they're in that new location, guys. I mean,
So we're still doing the podcast at the same time every week.
Yes.
It's just going to physically be in a different
we're going to be in a
location.
temporary space for a couple weeks while all of this gets moved right over there.
literally like 200 feet?
Something like that.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, it's not far at all. And then we're going to come back once it's all moved.
I assume that's why I'm here, because I usually only get the invite to these when 3 or 4 or 6 people say no. And so I figured, like, everybody must be busy with a move or something, and I'm all that's left.
I thought I was that guy. I
Same.
thought
I'm below
you
you on the
top
list,
tier.
Blaine. I'm way below you on the list.
No.
I thought it would be cool if people were still moving shit while we were doing the podcast. Like, everyone was trying to calm me down. Like, don't worry, the movers won't be moving anything while they're doing the podcast. I was like, can we have them moving shit while we're doing the podcast? Like, grabbing shit and getting it out of here? They're like, no. I was like, all right.
So to be clear, are we next week? We will be in the new location.
No, we'll be at a temporary spot
Okay.
until that gets set up.
Cool.
And how long will we be at a temporary spot?
Optimistically, 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
I heard a groan in the control room when I said that. So that answers your question.
But if we hadn't mentioned any of this, ideally the audience would have had no clue.
Well, we would be in a temporary spot. And it's going to look different. Like, you move lights, you move a set. Like,
Sure.
You can't make it look exactly the same. And there's people who notice, who, like, I've seen in chat who are like, oh, the table's slightly off. Like, oh, right. Yeah, they're right. Like, how do they see that? How do they know? Like, someone's going to notice it, so trying to get out ahead.
Has anyone ever gotten butthurt over, like, they switched the couch? Yeah?
Yes.
Do you remember when the rug was backwards? That was a whole thing. That rug that you're on.
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yep.
That blank spot that's over there was out in the front for a while. And it was driving people crazy. If you look, you can kind of see under Geoff, there's like it starts getting like a little blank and sparse. That was out over here. And people hated it.
Well, yeah, it's like how you set up a chessboard. Like the white square has to be on the right side, and if it's not, you can't play.
Right. It's all fucked up. It's all wrong. You can't talk. You can't make jokes.
Moving is weird. Like, yeah, they were telling us all last week. Patrick and broadcast was like, "Get your shit out! Like, they're coming Monday.
You're fired, Brian.
Get your stuff out."
How many times do we have to tell you?
Well, I was looking around. I was like,
worked here.
I've got like
the no was gone away 2 years ago. We don't know why you're still here.
I've got personal shit on the set that I need to get rid of that I'm afraid will get like damaged.
Yeah.
So it's like so there's some stuff I'm gonna need to like take home for a couple of weeks and then bring back once. Like I don't trust anyone else to move.
Right.
So you like precious treasures?
Yes.
What are those?
Well, I've got like behind me the Bill Gates autographed Xbox.
Okay, that's fair.
I've got.
Where did that come from?
I bought that at Child's Play.
Microsoft.
That with the first Child's Play you went
The
to?
second one, I think.
Second one, okay.
I bought that, and I bought that Xbox Live sign over there, which I'm also going to take.
I remember that. Yeah.
It came with like that Xbox Letterman jacket that looks like
that was for your office decor at the Albaneda, right?
Yeah. I've also got a Final Fantasy 15 book signed by the game director Tabata. It's back there. I've got a World of Warcraft Burning Crusade that's signed by all the developers.
I remember when
probably
you got
worth
that.
a lot less in the last month. Just stuff like that.
I just got that.
There's a Drunk Gamers mug right there. So little stuff like that. You can see the Drunk Gamers mug there.
It's stressful. Though. Somebody said in the chat, moving is stressful. I'm stressed and I'm doing nothing for this move. Somebody else, but it's still stressful to me. Like every move I've ever had sucked, and so even secondhand, it's stressful.
Like we're in a weird spot because there's been like work from home for so long. Do you physically have a desk somewhere here right now?
I think yes. In the new place, I don't know because I've been working from home like straight. I mean, I've only come in for stuff like this.
Yeah, I used to have. I think my desk went away about a year ago. And every now and then I'll find a box that came from my desk, like, oh, sweet, I was looking for something. And like I'll look through it like, oh, yeah, here's this one thing I was looking, like, here's this hard drive dock I've been looking for. And then like the box disappears. They're all like over there somewhere. Now I have no idea where any of that stuff's going to be.
Yeah.
I won't say when it was so that people can't figure out who it is. But I had a move once, and the person I was dating at the time, we got into a fight over something that she found in my stuff. And she was like, "You can move on your own." And she left, and I was moving all my shit.
Was
from
it
one place to
condoms
another.
and y'all had like gone the IUD route so she
No.
knew something was up?
No, no,
Was it pictures of Chris?
no comment. No, it was something from my past. Nothing like weird or sexual, just a thing. And then it upset her, and she
both weird and
left. And then
sexual.
I ended up like loading up a U-Haul truck all on my own, just fucking cussing under my breath the whole time, just like I fucking hate this.
It was a Bob Dole for president bumper sticker, wasn't it?
I don't think I was alive for that.
Dole 96.
That's a little before my time.
A really early Alex Jones video, like from the 90s. Yeah.
Was he ever like? How long has he been in Austin?
He was on
Oh.
public access when I was at UT.
Was he ever
Early
like
90s?
Alex
Early 90s.
Jones,
Yeah.
like wacky guy, or has he always just been a fucking
It was
prick?
wacky guy. We used to Jeff and I used to watch public access together back in the late 90s.
Channel
Like
16, 15, wasn't it? Yeah. Channel 15,
Yeah.
16, yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, like back then it was like a joke. Like back then no one took him seriously. Like, oh, that weirdo guy, you know,
Yeah.
only
It
in
was-
Austin. I keep Austin weird, and then it very quickly
Yeah.
became, oh shit, this is a real problem.
He was looked at like Leslie.
Yeah.
Like just sort of, you know.
He was one of our colorful characters. Like there was like, it was almost a must-see TV block on Friday nights where it was a show called The Old Biddy Show, which was this dude dressed up like an old lady and was weird. And there was Alex Jones. There was the Show with No Name.
Yep. Showing them.
And then there was some other, I can't remember what the other one was. That
There
was
was
at the end.
Raw Time.
Maybe that was it, yeah. And we would just go over to Gus's house and drink beer and just watch public access every Friday night.
Yeah. It's like it's weird to look back and think about. It's like, yeah, what are you doing? Oh, we're gonna buy a bunch of beer and sit around and watch public access
And
for
dare
4
each other to
hours.
call in and not call in.
We would call in. We would prank him because we had one of my. I won't get into our methods, but it involved clone Nokia cell phones, and they couldn't trace them. So I got through one time and said I was from the FBI, and we had snipers pointed at him. And he hung up. He was mad, you know. And it got around to the other public access shows that this had happened. So it was a blast.
Was this? I guess they had like VHS. Did you record that? Or
Oh
do you
yeah.
think there's any hit record?
My friend has it somewhere because
That's fucking rad.
like, you know, when you're done with your finals, but like you don't like, I think we were waiting on our ride home. So we had like 5 days of nothing. So we just pranked public access shows for like 5. It was the most fun I've ever had.
What
I think
you were on a pub? No, okay, sorry. I don't want to sound like a
close.
What Austin
The
Underground?
CW.
Was that on?
ATX Uncensored-ish. Yeah.
Was that on? Okay.
It was on the CW, and then it aired after Saturday Night Live
Oh,
on
nice.
KXAN. Yep.
That's how.
But
How did a
basically-
show like that happen?
They sort of wanted to do a comedy show. They wanted to do some sort of late night daily show, but like
Okay.
local was the idea. But they didn't really know anything beyond that. So they just started looking at stand-ups, and I got an email, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll try.
That's awesome.
It didn't, yeah, I mean, we lasted 9 months before they were like, this was a terrible mistake. But like we could kind of do whatever because no one really sort of knew what. you know.
Yeah, I watched it. It was before I knew you. I remember watching it on TV and like wondering, like, it's a great idea, but seems handcuffed by dealing with like a local station and
Yes.
local format. So like every time I was watching, I was like, I can tell that they really want to go in a different direction with this and they want to do other things, but I feel like they're being like held down or stifled creatively.
And our time slot, well, the after Saturday Night Live at 1:00 was great because that would, at least you're getting SNL. Our normal weekday spot was 15 minutes. Well, it was like
Cool.
at 5:45 or something, and like no one saw it
Yeah.
because like why would you? Yeah, but it was fun.
We were reminiscing with Barbara because that was how we met you. We were doing that connected doc, and then you came and interviewed us. And we had done like, we went to like a news station and like had talked to a couple of people about it because like people are like, oh, that's a cool concept. And we didn't know who the fuck you were. You came in and you just started grilling us. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And yeah, that's how we met you.
I remember trying to show off to because I was. The idea was just that I would make fun of y'all, obviously.
Yes,
And then
yeah.
I remember trying to big time you because I thought I had like 20,000 followers on Twitter, and I was like showing you, like showing off. And then I got back and looked y'all up on Twitter, and it's like y'all had like a bazillion. I felt like the biggest ass.
So I felt like that was a running gag on that ATX Uncensored. Everyone kept like, oh yeah, you're Twitter famous, right? Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was like the ongoing thing.
Yep.
I remember that. This is I see in chat someone said that they like the old man podcasts that deal with very specific Austin topics.
I was gonna say when I'm like the spicy young one, you know that there's a fucking problem.
Dude, I just last week to Hannah pitched the Old Guys podcast again. That just like me and you talk about Austin, and bring in other people like Brian, people that have been around for a long time. Bring in guests that are all the fucking socialites that are moving to Austin all of a sudden.
Yeah. I saw on the Austin subreddit the other day, it's a great idea. But one of the things, like, for an example of something that we could talk about, I saw on the Austin subreddit a few days ago, someone was like, did you know there used to be trolleys that ran downtown called a Dillo and they were free and you could ride them everywhere? It's like, well, yeah.
Rooster Teeth used to take him to lunch every day.
Yeah, it's like, I remember it was like they would go up and down 6th Street right by where our office was. It's like you'd start walking in one direction. And it was like, if it was too far, you'd be like looking over your shoulder constantly for when a Dillo was like, all right, cool, I'm going to hop on this. It's going to take me a few blocks down and drop me off.
That's how you'd eat lunch on South Congress or over at Now's.
Yeah, it's like super, super quick. They got rid of that in 2009.
I saw the other day a Dillo parked on the side. I think maybe on South Congress in like a parking lot. And it was like a little pop-up store somebody was using. Well, I thought it was a really cool way to...
Truck kind of thing, or?
It wasn't a food truck. I think it was like a shoe store maybe or like a sunglasses store. But yeah, it was just a straight up Dillo. They had repurposed. I thought that was
careful
neat.
when you say that, Dillo.
Huh?
It's a 1D off from being
it's a
something
giant
else.
Dillo on the side of the road.
Although you say that, I saw on the Austin subreddit the other day, someone was like, there's this exotic plant that I found. Anybody recognize it? And you click on the picture and it's a fucking strap-on dildo, like huge, just out on 6th Street or something. I found so many sex toys laying around the city of Austin. There was one on 51st, like not too long ago. Like we were just driving by, giant black dildo just out on the street. So
it's interesting that you chose to mention the color.
I just see dildos. I don't see colors. I just, that's a dildo. I don't know what.
I'm just showing I have a good memory.
It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those tests, like it was really green, but in your mind, you changed it.
I'm just gonna be like awake at night, like
what color is this dildo?
That subreddit fucking sucks, by the way.
The Austin subreddit?
Yeah, speaking of the show, like a week when we sorry, and this is the last, I'll shut up about a show no one watched.
I watched it.
A week into the show, the top, I log onto that subreddit, it said, ATX Uncensored is the worst show I've ever seen, and it's just upvoted to the fucking moon. I was like,
negativity, like hot takes are always popular.
Yeah, have you gone to the Rooster Teeth subreddit in a while?
Yeah, I tried to word search my name once, no results, and that was the last time.
I go there, and then if I'm really thinking about getting therapy, that's the one thing that'll like put me over the edge. Be like, yeah, I should get it because, rough stuff.
But the Austin subreddit at least is active. It can be very hostile.
Yes.
But it's an incredibly active subreddit, like, especially when you compare to like other cities or I don't know what it is about Austin that makes the subreddit so so popular.
Volatile?
Yeah, I don't know. There's always something going on.
Computer's very popular.
Oh, the Silicon Hills.
I feel like because it's Austin, so it's like this perfect mix of like really liberal left-leaning folks, and then you're in the middle of fucking Texas, so you get like those kinds of folks as well. So a lot of libertarians on the Austin subreddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's always something great. There was that guy a couple months ago, what was that, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, who was looking for solicited women.
I think I said that to you, yeah. It was
solicited women?
It was a dude from like another country, and you could tell like English wasn't his first language, and he was asking for, it was like the most roundabout way for asking for prostitutes.
Okay, here.
Was it that dude Romeo something?
Romeo Rose? No.
Gus got there very quickly, by the way.
Yeah, I typed solicited women Austin subreddit, and it came right up.
We just had to click his name and pass posts.
It's in my history. It's so easy to get to. Hi, I am 32 European white beautiful male.
Beautiful.
What places I should try in Austin, and what times where females are expecting to find solicited males? Solicited means women expect to see men in those places, and no unsolicited stuff is going to happen. Do not offer dummy apps. I am not a fan of that. I want to see women in real, no fake women, please. No headache, please. Thank you.
What if he got his
wish came true?
Yeah.
But like,
am not a bot.
People tried to figure out what he was asking, and like he just replied in ways that were infuriating. And, like, someone asked, solicited or unsolicited, and he replied, places where women are looking for men.
Do you? Do you think it's a legitimate post?
I don't know. Oh, well, this person has a bunch of other, or person in quotes, air quotes, has a bunch of other posts.
Is his name Mahir?
I'm imagining Chris is making these same posts in like broken Greek out in like Greece, wherever he is, Mykonos or whatever that place is called.
Mykonos. I wouldn't be surprised if he was at Mykonos making those posts on the Austin subreddit in English.
And then there's an old great one. I've sent this one to Eric forever ago. I don't remember when this was. A couple years ago? Yeah. There was a post on the Austin subreddit. The topic was, I want to hire a woman to show me her breasts. Is this legal? And then the text is, I want to find a woman with large natural breasts and pay her to show them to me. I've never seen big ones in person. I'm literally just looking to cross this off my bucket list and call it good. Is this legal in the city of Austin? I hate the concept of strip clubs, so that's not an option.
Just go hang out.
There's a whole industry. There's a whole business where you can go to do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not that.
He hates the concept, but he also loves it in a way. Like, he's also for the concept.
I'm not a dirtbag, but, you know.
There's like places, I was about to list off places he could go and see boobs in public, but then I'm like, I shouldn't send him to those places. He shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
The people that are there with their boobs out don't want him there.
Yeah. No. There's parks, there's burlesque, that guy could go any number of places.
There's tons of options. But yeah, it's that's how Freddie Wong posted about this on Twitter the other day. It's like, when you're using the internet, it's easy to imagine the people on the other side of the screen are similar to you. Like they have the same background or more or less the same as you. But in reality, it's like everyone's so disparate. You have no idea. Like so much can get lost in context when you're making assumptions based on the way you think versus the way that they're trying to communicate. And it's like, it's just so wild. I wish there was a way to like get more information. That way you knew who you were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until like people start posting pictures or something, and then you're like, oh wait, yeah, everybody's really different. It's not just, you know.
Yeah, like, oh, this person's a kid.
Right.
Or
right.
Or yeah, I don't know. It's just wild to me. And I think it took me a long time to realize that not everyone is like that. I think probably not until we got old.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, now everyone's a lot younger than us on the internet.
You think you're talking to a reflection of you on the other side, like a person your age of similar. Yeah, it's not the case. Not at all. I had to stop. Like I had to go back to lurking on sports forums on Reddit because you get into arguments about the Celtics, and then you find out like, oh, this dude is 14. He doesn't know who Larry Bird is, or you know, he never. Like, Dennis Johnson was dead before he was out of diapers, so how would he? Yeah, why am I arguing with this guy? This is so stupid. Yeah,
right. That happened to me on Twitter. Somebody came for me, and I was just ready to just like let him have it. And somebody responded like that guy's a 16-year-old kid. Yeah. Like he's legendary for doing. And part of me is like, well, fuck him anyway. I'm gonna go after. But I was like, no, cooler heads prevailed. Yeah. But yeah.
Speaking of Twitter, I sent Brian a screenshot from Twitter the other day. Let me see if I can find it here. I thought this was right up Brian's sense of humor. Someone pulled a D's nuts joke on the Taliban on Twitter. they asked them what will happen to DN under Taliban rule, and then they replied, "What do you mean by DN?" And they just replied, "D's nuts, LOL."
Which is more progress than we made against the Taliban in 20 years. Some kid D's nutsing him on Twitter. You know what? You got us. Y'all can have an extra month to evacuate.
That is the prompt for a South Park episode where then the Taliban invades South Park to find Cartman. You know?
Yeah. Then a bunch of people followed up asking about the Ligma situation, which is like of course the natural progression of the joke.
Those jokes, like, I made a D's nuts joke, and somebody goes, those were around when you were a kid? Yes. There was a D's nuts joke on Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992. Oh, yeah. Like, that's my first memory of them. But yeah, those jokes have survived forever.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
This episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by HBO Max. HBO Max isn't your mother streaming platform. It bundles all of HBO together with even more of your favorite movies, iconic shows, and new Max originals. You stream from all your devices and download titles to watch on the go. HBO Max is also where heroes go to stream. Literally, it has an expansive selection of superhero content to feed your fandom. HBO Max is the U.S. home for all of my favorite DC content. We've got Wonder Woman, Justice League, Stargirl, Batwoman, HBO Shazam, Suicide Squad, list goes on and on. Plus, with exclusive content you can't watch anywhere else, HBO Max really is saving the day. I've talked about it before. I'm super excited. I've loved Doom Patrol. They got a new season coming out real soon, just a couple of weeks. You should check it out. There's 2 seasons you can already watch on HBO Max. There's a new one coming out soon. Get caught up. Be ready for when the new season drops. Check out some of the best superhero content and more only on HBO Max. Sign up now by going to hbom.ax/RTPA or by clicking on the link below to get in on the action. Yeah, I had this problem the other day. In a totally different direction. I'm an old man. Y'all are old men. I still watch TV, so I've got like a cable box. Do you have a cable box? Can you watch TV at your house, Blaine?
No, I refuse. I stopped watching like cable TV because I can't stand fucking commercials. So I stopped in middle
Don't fuck them then. What's up? What?
I don't want to sidetrack this, but I have a question. Do you have a problem with commercials?
Like television commercials?
Yeah.
No.
Do you?
Well, I don't, but it's funny. Like my kids only watch on-demand stuff, and they don't know what the fuck they want for their birthdays or Christmas. It's like, don't you want Transformers? Like I had a million things.
Commercials are definitely how we trick kids into wanting shit.
Yes.
I think it's an age thing. I have zero problem with commercials. I never have.
I just pull my phone out. Like if I can't fast forward, it's like I'll just pull my phone out, use my phone for a bit or whatever.
Or like I'll mute it and talk to Emily.
I decided that I didn't like them before streaming was a thing. Like I've just because
that's okay.
I have like a weird relationship with
television
television and people in my family. That's just like kind of an addiction. And I'm just like I don't fucking like TV.
I just think it's a generational thing. In like I think the people that grew up accepting and understanding that commercials were just a part of like it's how we pay for the shit that we watch.
Yeah, but it's the trade-off.
It was always the trade-off growing up, and then now we live in a wonderful society where you can buy an ad blocker and you never have to see commercials again. And then companies like Rooster Teeth go out of business for that. Thanks.
Well, also, I mean, there's also other solutions, right? Like what is it? Hulu and I think HBO also have like, or HBO Max have different tiers of like subscription where you can have like commercials or no commercials.
For sure. Like I pay for the special version of Paramount Plus so I can watch Survivor without commercials. But
I subscribe to Paramount Plus just for air crash investigations. Or
I do just for Survivor.
That's the only reason I have Paramount Plus.
Dude, and by the way, do you like that? That is a clunky app, man.
I heard it's dog shit.
I'm not crazy about it.
Like for the longest time, you could not pin a show.
Yeah.
So it's like if you wanted to watch a show, if it wasn't on the front page, you had to search for it
every time.
Like you couldn't put like plus, that way it's on your screen because like all I watch is that one show. It's like I don't give a fuck about the Real World Reunion or whatever else they
anything
got.
else
unless Puck is back, and then I'm all
bets
in.
are off.
How have they not like? I love how they still haven't figured out how to make a good streaming app yet. Nobody.
Just copy paste everybody else's.
Yeah, but copy like Netflix. I would assume like they've been in the game for but nobody. I'll try to find. Just give me what were you just watching? Just put that up first. That's what whatever the series is.
Yeah,
and then like below that, things that you've added to your queue or your whatever.
That should be the first thing, and then show me whatever Suicide Squad, whatever is coming. But yeah, I don't. My only thing with commercials, I got used to them in the span of like a normal 30-minute show or an hour-long show. The only time I didn't like them was during like a football game or where they felt like crazy intrusive.
Yeah, like every now and then, I feel weird anytime I do this, but sometimes like I won't watch a football game live. I'll record it, then just like watch it back, skipping all the commercials or like all the downtime between plays. Like, man, this is super fast. I just finished a football game in like an hour, like, or not even. It's like I finished a football game in half an hour.
Yeah,
if you watch the snaps, the football game take you like 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's like wow, this is great.
Dude, I went to an Austin FC game this weekend. And I didn't realize, like, when you're live, sports fly. Like, you're having fun. But, like, when you're watching it at home, it feels like an entire evening of your life just gone. It's a good time.
It's also interesting how some sports are better in person and some, I think, are better on TV. Like, football's definitely better on TV than going to an NFL game.
Yeah.
It is the worst. But soccer's great.
Soccer's fucking great.
Baseball's great in person. Way better in person.
I cannot watch baseball on TV, but going in person, awesome.
Yeah. It's way more exciting, but it's just background noise on a TV.
I've always had a kind of a rule against watching sports on television. Like even Super Bowl, like I've always just gone to the gym because there's something so wrong to me about watching these like awesome athletes doing their crazy shit, and then you're just like sitting on the couch, just like watching it happen. Like if I'm in there at the stadium, like this is cool, I'm like cheering for it, or if I'm playing it, then that's fine. But like just watching it just bums me out.
What about video games?
Yeah, by that logic, nobody should be watching this. Everybody right now stop
Should be
watching the
podcast.
podcast.
No, you're watching
and
four-
go to a comedy club,
You're
I
watching
guess.
four
or-
old dudes
go
sit
take
on the
improv-
couch.
take an
and you're
improv
sitting and
class.
it's like you're hanging out with us, but you're, I don't know. Maybe you could listen. You could watch sports while you go for a run.
I like watching them. I like watching them and not doing it. I like criticizing the athletes. I like doing all that.
100%.
I like criticizing the Olympians, all that. And I can't like walk up 3 flights of stairs and not get
You
winded.
should go.
I
to,
love criticizing.
Go to a sports event
entertainment.
with Eric Badur sometime.
Yeah.
And you will. I don't know if you're like
No.
prone to cringing, but it's you. All eyes on the stadium will be on you. Just
Is he
by
a yeller?
He is like just fucking burning every single athlete that is on the field, and you're just like, everybody hates me. Like everybody, like this fucking guy. They hate this guy, and it's it's real cool.
I'm that guy too. We were watching the NBA finals. It was one where the Houston Rockets were in the finals, and I wouldn't stop making fun of the Rockets. And finally, other guys, like one guy he's like, I'm sorry guys, I got to go watch this in another room.
Damn.
Left.
We years ago when UT was playing Alabama, was it the national championship?
Yeah.
Bernie rented out a screen at the draft house for all of us to watch it. And guess who the asshole is that showed up rooting for Alabama?
Listen, I told him before the game, don't invite me if you don't want me to come and root for my fucking team. I'm sorry, I'm from Alabama. Maybe I shouldn't go. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. There'll be other Alabama fans there. There weren't. It was 199 Texas fans and me. And Colt McCoy goes down in the first 30 seconds because we blew on him too hard or something. And then that was the whole night was miserable. It was
Jeff
just
was
me
just-
going like this in the seat.
Everyone was so fucking mad. And Jeff was the only one there.
One overjoyed person,
You
and
kept
then everyone
cheering.
else is just...
Don't act like you were slinking down.
Well, what?
You
Am
were
I gonna-
cheer-
not- am I gonna-
the way you just told the story, you said you were like this.
I was like that until something happened.
You were wooing and clapping and standing up and cheering.
I gotta support my team, baby.
Yeah, so don't
It's a
act,
national championship.
Don't act like you were just.
I was doing that too, but then something would happen and I'd be like, another touchdown. Yeah. But then I'd be like, oh, right, you guys hate me.
That was the weirdest injury. Colt McCoy like just decided to peace out.
Yeah.
Like he got hit in the side and like that.
He was like,
felt
this is my career. Sorry.
Yeah. That felt like the Black Sox scandal or something. Like, who got to you, dude? Who got to you? Because we were doing great for those 30 seconds.
He was no shoeless Joe Jackson.
Have you been to a UT game like in a while, or
It's been a few years since I've been to one.
that is the most toxic fan base I've ever come across? Because like if they start losing like halftime, either they're fucking gone or they're booing their own team.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a weird,
Very fair
experience.
weather. Because we live in Austin. There's too much other stuff to do. Like
point.
we're not gonna.
I've never been to a UT game
It's
of any kind.
I got a season passes in my junior year of college because like, yeah, I ought to, and I was just like, don't go to the fucking playoffs. I want to be done with this shit.
I went to school down in Houston at Rice, and Rice at the time I went, the undergraduate
It's okay, he
population
didn't go for very
like
long.
2,000, but the stadium they built for some reason they built like a 60,000 person stadium.
For Rice?
Yeah, they had a Super Bowl there.
God damn.
And it's like like I said, the undergrad population is like 2,000, and the football team sucks. So it was like playing. It was like watching a game during COVID times because it was like an empty stadium with like 40 people in it watching Rice lose to Tulsa or some shit. The Golden Hurricanes.
Who sold it to it? Was it Lyle Landley, the monorail
Yeah, no
guy
kidding.
from The Simpsons?
But,
like sold them that stadium.
When JFK gave his, we go to the moon speech, that was at Rice Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he needed to talk to the people who are actually going to make it happen. Yeah. God, I've known like more than one comic who went to Rice and like got a degree and they gave it up to do stand up. It's like maybe you might want to think about that Rice degree again.
So I guess I can fall back on my Rice education.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be an engineer or something.
Hey, how did flying go?
It was good. I took an introductory flight the other day on Friday. It was fun. I was supposed to go early in the morning, but I got a call from the instructor. He's like, "Hey, we need a delay. Can you push it a little later in the day? There's clouds out." And I was like, "We can't fly because of clouds?" He's like, "Yeah, you can't fly through the clouds since you're not actually a rated pilot or anything. So we have to wait till the clouds go away." It's like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
What was the impetus to do this? Was it just curiosity? Was it a bit for work?
I want to
Was
take I want to get a pilot's license.
Okay.
And
wasn't this a thing Bernie said he was going to do for years?
He said he was. Then he said like insurance wouldn't cover him, but I think he just got bored with it.
I always wondered that too, because I was like, if Gus goes through and gets a pilot license, then I'll know Bernie was full of shit. But if you don't, then I guess he wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been no problem so far. Maybe I should ask my insurance people, make sure it's okay. But it was fine. Like the whole process took about 2 hours. But really flying, you're only flying for like 30 or 40 minutes. It's like a whole bunch of like checks and making sure everything's okay and paperwork and shit like that.
Did you have like homework before, or
No.
did they just like you show up, they get you up there, and then they're walking you through?
I showed up. The guy like took you have to have a passport for like TSA purposes or whatever. He like fills out some paperwork. He's like, all right, let's go get the plane. And you just like walk out. And he's like, all right. And then we would do a walk around. He's like, just look, make sure everything's okay. All right, get in. Here, push that thing, turn these lights on. That's how you fly. Go.
Is it like a Hertz lot? Do you get to pick your plane?
No, it's assigned ahead of time. I think they have it like booked out.
Okay.
So it's like, I already knew which one I was going to take. It's like a little single engine Cessna. But it's cool. It's
Hell
like,
no.
They gave me the option. They're like, you can either take off from a private airport out like off of 130 or take off from Austin Bergstrom. I was like, we got to do Austin Bergstrom. And
did you take off?
I taxied to the runway.
Was that so scary?
Yes, because I was terrible at it.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
I could barely stay on the taxiway. The guy was constantly having to correct the plane. He's like, use a real light touch with it.
Is it like driver's ed? Is he sitting there with like real brakes?
Well, he's also got controls.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, just do whatever. He's like, if I see you're doing anything bad, like I'll just step in and make small corrections.
Do you think the batteries were in your Xbox controller at any point?
I'm like the kid brother. But yeah, we took off from Austin Bergstrom, flew out, did a couple circles around downtown, flew out over Lake Austin or Lake
How close
Travis.
to downtown were you?
I mean, right over it.
Like you went over
buzzed
buildings
the
and stuff?
2,500 feet over downtown. So you have to be 1,000 feet above the tallest building.
Okay.
Which is 1,360 square feet. So it's 2,360. So then you just round up to 2,500.
That's why
So you're about 2,500 feet.
Yes.
Is that
that's
where you
exactly why you need a passport?
Is that why you stayed about 2,500?
Yeah, stayed about 2,500. At one point, we encountered another plane that was in a similar position we were, so we climbed to 3,000 just to like create some separation.
Did you see any UAPs?
No, I did not.
Okay.
The coffee break's asking what model. It was a Cessna 172R.
This was your first time flying?
Yeah,
And you...
and he would like 80% of the flight was me like manipulating the controls. The instructor, he was like, I'll take care of the throttle. That was just like one less thing for you to worry about. He's like, just fly around. Like we were like flying. He's like, you see that water tower way off in the distance? Just fly straight towards that. Like, okay.
And you're like able to go.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, oh, that other plane was near us. He's like, just climb up to 3,000 feet. Here, let me give you a little more power on the throttle.
So he let you actually like climb and dip and all sorts.
Yeah.
Of
how intuitive is that?
I played a lot of Flight Simulator, so I mean, that part's intuitive. But I will say it was bad that I played a lot of Flight Simulator.
Okay.
Because
I played a few rounds of Flight Simulator, so I'm kind of a pilot already.
What I realized is that there's no resistance or feedback when you play like Flight Simulator. So the only way you can gauge what you're doing is by looking at the instruments.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're like actually in the plane, there's like you have to move it. It takes physical power, and
so that's why you're fucking up taxiing, because you're just like.
Well, no, I was like I was giving too much input. You know, it's like you really have to be
you were used
gentle
to the
with it,
feedback.
right? So I felt like it was bad for that. Like I kept wanting to look at the instruments when I should have been looking out and looking around more.
I was so fucking stoked for Gus to go, and I asked for his flight number. Or no, you gave me your flight number, and then it ended up your flight number changed. And I was telling Eric about this. I was like, yeah, like I went on an app. I found flights that were taking off from Austin Bergstrom. I found his time. I found he was from Austin Bergstrom. And I was following this flight, and I was like at the vet for my dog, and I was just watching this plane. I was like, there he goes. Oh, Gus is doing his circle. Oh, that's great. As soon as he landed, I didn't want to text him mid-flight. As soon as he landed, I was like, hey, man, I took screenshots. You did a great job. He's like, thanks. That was my flight.
I didn't know whether to tell you or not. You sent that, and I was like...
Bro, it was like an hour and a half that I was like, oh, yeah, he's always climbing altitude now.
Oh, a barrel roll on his first day.
I was telling Eric it would have been a great setup. Like, well, I mean, this has been bad, but if that flight had crashed, I would have been convinced. Oh, Gus is dead.
You'd have been calling people. I don't want to be the one to tell you this.
But Gus is fucking dead.
You just wanted to be the first one to know.
Yeah.
You wanted to be one of those bad news people.
Well, I'm inheriting his Tesla, so. Yeah.
But it's like to do it's only like $150, which I know is like it's not super cheap, but it's not like.
But that's
so it's
crazy.
mega
That's
fucking for a
dude.
flight?
That's less than I paid a jet ski.
Really?
Yeah, I pay $200 an hour to jet ski or sorry,
Whoa.
$100 an hour. So $200 for 2 hours.
Oh, to
yeah.
like rent. Well,
Yeah.
So if you're ever thinking about it, just do like they call it introductory flight. Just go fucking do it.
So what's next for you?
So I enrolled to start taking private pilot lessons, but there's a little bit of a waiting list. I have to wait to get assigned an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So they said it could be a couple of weeks before I get an instructor assigned and actually begin in earnest.
You need to start talking to Bernie's insurance now.
Got my own insurance.
those planes scare those little single engines. I'm just like, I just assume every time.
When I first took off, like the first 2 or 3 minutes, it was like absolute terror.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh shit, there's wind. Like you can feel like you're like moving around. Because like in a big plane, like when you're flying like Southwest or whatever, it's like, yeah,
Right.
whatever. It's pretty smooth. This is like, oh no, there's a breeze out and it's pushing us.
So this is the start of a journey for you, it sounds like.
Maybe, yeah. I'd like to
I'm excited about
fly
that.
a little more. Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. It was really so much fun. And,
That's awesome.
Now in Black Box, you're gonna be able to say like, "Oh, I'm a pilot."
Well, yeah, right. Not a commercial
You
aviation.
speak from a position of experience and authority. now.
Having spent 30 minutes piloting a Cessna with
Oh, no,
someone else
like-
managing the throttle.
You know, next year or something when you might have a driver's permit. I don't know what they call them, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take. We'll see once I get the instructor. We'll
Yeah,
see how long it'll take to
You
actually
can
get
be
the
like
license.
people who studied abroad, weighing in on Brexit. Like, well, when I was in London for a semester.
Here's the thing you need to know about shipping channels.
I flew over the Suez Canal.
I looked out. I saw it.
How long does it take to get your pilot's license? Like, if you want to go for it.
They
like,
said it's up to how fast you can study and take the test, how
Gotcha.
fast you can pass like different exams and whatnot. I've heard of people doing it like within a couple months.
Shit.
And some
wow.
people it takes like a year.
And this is, but that's a certain level of license, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like just private pilot. Like you can't
Okay.
charge people to like give them rides or anything.
You got to go to some sort of a school to learn
There's,
how
like,
to fly
different
a
tiers, yeah.
737.
Then you gotta like
Okay.
rent an airplane, or if you buy one, aren't they like the price of like a luxury
They're
car?
fucking expensive.
Like a nice car.
What do you think a luxury car costs?
I'm fucking broke, so.
Well, we're not spending your money. We're just
70 grand. 80. I don't fucking know.
So I looked online.
I drive a 95 Jeep that's like, I am surprised it's still going.
The plane that I flew was a single engine Cessna.
Okay.
It was built in 1998.
Okay.
I looked online to find comparable. I was curious, like you. I was
For
like-
insurance purposes.
I was like, what's a comparable plane? If I was to buy something comparable to that, how much would I pay? It was about $130,000 to $140,000.
Yeah.
That's
Buying,
that's like 5 jet skis. Dude.
yeah, it's a lot.
And that's
Buying-
not something you want to skimp on. I
right.
wouldn't-
That's also a 98.
Yeah.
But if you want like a brand new one off the factory, like never been flown, it's like $430,000
good God.
for a single engine, like
That's like a luxury
propeller
house.
Cessna and
That's
and a
worth
U.S. passport.
$150.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's not that, like a
what I-
birthday or something.
It was worth it just for like I had one experience that made the entire thing worth it. We were coming back into land. Like I said, we flew out of Austin Bergstrom, which is the airport here in Austin, and you can hear the tower. The instructor's talking to them the whole time. And there was a Southwest flight that was waiting to take off, and they had to wait for us to land. It's
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
yeah, they were like stopped short of the runway,
Right.
and I could see them like I'm coming into land. Like, that's right, motherfuckers, you all have to wait because I'm using the runway
Right.
right now.
That's like 100 some people that you just can convenience their lives. Someone may have missed a flight because
well,
of
no,
you.
no. You think about that. That happens to you all the time. You don't realize it. Like when you're going
Yeah,
to take
yeah,
off,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the plane stops and starts before you finally take off a bunch of
But
times.
I'm saying it's just you and your fucking Cessna and
Yeah.
your pilot, dude. Yeah.
They're telling like a loaded Delta flight, you got to wait. There's a plane that has the student driver sign on top that's gonna fucking land. Yeah,
trying to
we
pull
know
down a
it's gonna
ditch.
take a while. Yeah,
But yeah, just for that, it was like that's
cool.
pretty fucking
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's really cool to me that someone of your advanced age can find
Oh,
something, can find like a new passion and a new interesting thing, to get into in your 40s. Like, how much time do you have left?
That's true.
But you're still consuming life.
I'm still young. I
And
still got a lot to go. I still got a lot
love
to
it.
do.
I can't imagine. I was sitting here trying to think of when you and I were first becoming friends, right? In those early pre-Rooster Teeth days, when we're just hanging out, fucking making $6 an hour at Telenetwork. I did not see me at 46 being lake trash and you at 44 being a pilot.
What's funny is that plane I flew was brand new when we were hanging out. We met
Oh my
each other
God,
back
that's
then.
true. Yeah, that was the year we met.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I liked somebody in the chat. They said, I've seen a Cessna listed for $30K. But, like, yeah, maybe not on Craigslist is where you
wanna
want
buy it.
Buy your
Yeah.
fucking airplane.
it probably needed work.
Right.
But I learned a lot even in that like little bit of time with instructor. It's just a lot of stuff I never thought about. It's really interesting.
Well, and it'll give you a new perspective for Black Box Down.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, it will.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be nerve-wracking a bit, but it'll be fun. I'll have content to talk about.
That's great.
Yeah.
Content's good.
I bet you'll buy a plane someday.
No,
I
God,
see it.
no.
I
That's
see
so
it in your
expensive.
future.
That shit's so expensive. I got a house. Maybe if I sell my house, I can buy a plane.
Never know.
Live in the plane. It'll be like. Did you see? Oh, the Austin subreddit. Did you see that boat? It was called houseboat or something.
Spare Room?
Spare room. It's like it's like this legendary yacht that some guy bought but couldn't afford to tow, and he just got stuck on the side of the fucking road, and it was just there for like a week.
Oh, right. That, yeah.
I thought that was you.
No.
Because you're a big lake guy now.
There was another boat stuck off of 35 over the weekend I saw. Like,
really?
right here by the office, like 35 and St. John or something, or the turnaround up over there.
Yeah.
There's like just another boat in the middle of the access road.
Dude, boats cost plane money.
My
That
dad
shit
said
is not cheap.
we used to own an old I think it was like a pontoon boat. I don't know, but my dad said that the best day of a boat owner's life is the day you buy a boat and the day you sell a boat.
Yeah.
It's just they're a fucking pain in the ass. Those things just sit.
My
unless you're regulars.
my cousin and his husband, they have one, and they use it to their credit all the time. But yeah, it's like buying a second house. Those things. So and then like their boat has, it holds 250 gallons of gas, and so it costs $1,000 to fill it up every time they need to put gas in it because $4 a gallon.
Damn.
$1,000 just to ride it.
I'm a fucking idiot. Is boat fuel the same as car fuel?
Yep, just unleaded. Just boom. You can go to the.
Oh, you could just plug it into the.
I have no idea.
I think it's probably a mixture with diesel. I would think, but
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, jet skis are not cheap either. Like I can't afford a jet ski. That's been determined.
We were on a shoot. You're on this jet ski thing, man.
I was
you-
jet skiing yesterday, dude.
Rule. They're
Oh,
awesome.
I was in the water yesterday.
They're awesome.
That's rad.
I go every weekend.
Wait, so what's the current Lady Bird Lake? I'm assuming, or Lake Travis?
Lake Austin.
Okay.
Lady Bird, you can't have any motorized vehicles
yeah.
on.
I've never seen it. It's all
You're a
paddle
fucking
boarders
cop.
down
Yeah.
Lake Austin is like from Redbud up to Mansfield Dam, and then Lake Travis is the other side of the Mansfield Dam.
Got it. What's the current cleanliness situation?
Lake Austin's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's not dirty at all. Lady Bird Lake is looks like a trash pile.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very excited to start getting into paddleboarding earlier in the year, and then all the rains came, and now it's just Chick-fil-A wrappers all over downtown. Have you not been to Town Lake lately?
No.
It's gross, dude.
Is it?
If you want to get in the water, yeah.
I would never get in that water to begin with, but
Lake Austin's great. Although I will say, this is going to make it sound not great.
Okay.
But not this last time, but a couple weeks ago we went with Gavin, and we were jumping wakes off of boats, and we were just in this part pretty far down, kind of near like Steiner Ranch, and I hit a fucking Emily and I hit a wave, and we went in the air, and we came down, and I looked over to the left, and there was a hoof sticking out of the water,
What
and
the
there was an
fuck?
entire dead deer just floating in the middle of Lake Austin. We came about 4 feet from hitting it,
wow.
which was kind of crazy.
That would have exploded on impact.
Yeah.
Because that had floated to the top because of the gases in its body, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like in Alabama where I grew up. You would wait for dead dogs on the side of the road to get really full, and then you chuck rocks at them to see if they'd pop.
Bro.
It's kind of like that, I
What
assume.
the fuck? That's fucked.
Would they pop? Could you make?
I've never done it, but I mean,
Okay,
I
but-
grew up with kids that did that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Get an Xbox. Jesus.
And this was what you did in the 80s and 90s.
This,
like
yeah, this was
before
the
all that
80s,
shit.
man.
Yeah, you had to make your own fun.
It's like Super Mario 3's not out yet. Want to go blow some dogs up while we
Yeah,
wait?
it's like, well, that dog's
Okay.
dead. What do we want to do with it? Throw shit at it? All right.
That's why I don't appreciate you guys looping me in with the old men group. I might have a beard, but I'm not that fucking old. I'm not throwing rocks at dead dogs old.
That's not old as much as it is just trashy Southern redneck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the best.
Oh, disgusting.
I did a thing like that. I was just bored, and I thought I just had the idea. I was probably 8 years old, and I just sat in a neighbor's driveway because they had like a crushed stone driveway, and I just threw rocks at cars.
You piece of shit.
And then, yeah, it's just like just a fucking shitty little kid.
Yeah.
And and finally one of them stopped, you know, and it squealed on, and I ran across the street right into my house. And then knock. And to this day, I'm like, why didn't I just run into a neighbor's yard? I could have just hopped fences, and I got in trouble.
For some reason, when I'm imagining young Brian Gaar, I still see the little beard and just like just his little face.
It's like your face and your head is all still the same, just on a little kid's body.
Your 8-year-old who's already gone through puberty 2 years ago was throwing rocks at my car, man. Yeah.
Did you have to pay for it? What were the repercussions?
I don't think it was like, I think it was mine. I don't remember having to get like, but I embarrassed my, you know, but it was like, I got in major trouble.
You brought shame to your family.
Yeah, exactly. Not the last time.
I shamed a couple of my neighbors. I was telling Gus about this. I was really stoked about it because I'm a new homeowner, and I'm like, yeah, I take pride in my house, except for my yard looks like shit, according to Gus. But
you weren't supposed to hear that.
Yeah,
Take pride in the inside of your house, maybe.
It's a nice house.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm out in my garage working out, and I see this couple walking by. Dude's carrying 2 kitchen chairs, and his like girlfriend, partner, whatever, is carrying 1 kitchen chair. So they must be going to a house party. You know, need extra seats. And they walk back by, and they're like purposely avoiding eye contact with me, and they don't have the kitchen chairs. And I was like, maybe I know one of them, and they just don't want to talk. I don't know what the fuck's going on. A couple minutes pass by. They drive by, and I was like, what the fuck? So I like look outside, and they had just left their kitchen chairs out on the corner of our street. And I was like,
they had put the chairs in their car, dumped them there, and were taking off.
I don't know. So that's where I was like,
okay.
I should check my security cameras. Like, what the fuck's going on? Because like I'm very curious and I'm bored. So you know, then the day goes by. I'm out in my garage working on something, and then they drive by again, and I look at them, and then I look at the chairs, and then I look at them, and then they just go like they look away from me, and then I kind of noted where they lived. That sounds like really threatening and awful, but anyways, I was like, I'll give them 24 hours. The chairs aren't picked up, or if they don't, you know, fucking fix their mistake, then I'm going to do something about it. So then 24 hours pass, chairs are still there. And I was like, man, fuck this. Like, that's a bad precedent. You know, like if someone was just like leaving their sofa on the side of whatever. So like, I'd finished my workout is at night, went over, grabbed the chairs, and I just like brought them over to their house. And I left them a note and it said, could be a dick and call the HOA, but I'm not going to just don't leave your garbage around my neighborhood.
Look at you.
It's my neighborhood. So I felt very proud of that.
And then Blaine found out it was bulk pickup, and they were just putting their stuff out to get picked up by the city of Austin.
No, we have bulk pickup days, and there's designated areas you put those. These are just two renters who don't take pride in their neighborhood.
You will learn to hate neighbors after you have a house because of just like stuff they do. This lady sits on, she's like retired, I guess, and she just sits on our tree line. We share a fence in the back. She sits on the tree line and just clips. And she every time I see her, she'll lecture me that I need to like clear the fence line because they're like little trees growing up. And I'm like, well, that's half your side too.
Yeah.
And she every time she'll say, and she'll throw the cuttings over into my side.
What the fuck?
Do not do that.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And she's like kind of a little out of it, but like she knows like what she's doing.
That's fucked up.
And she came over and knocked on my door during the freeze because their pipes had burst, and she wanted to
spray
know,
with a hose.
She wanted to know if I could shut off the sewer, the water at the street. And I said no, I don't know how. And I did know how, but she shouldn't have fucked around on the fence line. Like, too bad, too bad. Maybe you shouldn't have been. Maybe you should have been nicer.
She'd have been a little nicer about this clipping. She might still have plumbing.
Yeah, don't throw the cuttings into my yard. Make me look like a punk in front of my kids.
Anyways,
and I'm just the guy who's going to let that happen.
Haven't seen her since February, and her house smells real bad. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sure it's all fine.
No, I tried to help her, and I had no fucking idea how to do it. It was like freezing, and like it was like filled with. I was like, yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to call the city. She was like, we tried. I'm like, well, this interaction is over. So,
good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild time. I'm sure, like, because especially when you have to shut off your water, sometimes you need that special key or like that special tool to do it.
I bought one of those after that.
Right. It's like you never have that when you need it. It's like there's an emergency. Like, fuck, I need one of those. Oh, I gotta go to the hardware store, or in that case, like in February, can't do that.
Oh no, it was fucking. You couldn't get there because of the ice, and then it was also sold out.
Right.
No one had those in stock. I got mine from a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep one by my bed now. It's my equivalent of sleeping with a gun under the pillow or something. But like, I have the water main key.
You could fuck someone up with that.
Did you guys all lose water?
I did not.
I turned mine off intentionally after filling up all my things because I think that they recommended it. I also didn't want my pipes to burst.
Yeah.
I lost electricity for 72 hours, but I maintained gas.
Okay.
So
Do you guys lose electricity as well?
We live near St. David South, so like
You were fine.
for that's the only reason we think it stayed on. Yeah,
I don't
it was
live.
awesome.
I don't live near anything, and I kept electricity. I have no idea why.
I think we did as well, and I think it might be Mopac because I live kind of near Mopac.
Okay.
Or the hospital. There's a hospital over there.
Well,
maybe.
if you live near a hospital, that's probably it.
No, it might be a fire station. I might be too far from the hospital. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like,
So lucky though.
I lost power, I think, for 30 minutes one day. And I was like the first day, I was like, all right, that's it. We don't have it. Then it came back. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was weird.
it would have been a cool experience if I wasn't freaking out about something in my house fucking busting. But like, I like camping. I can last in the cold, and I got my dog, and we just filled our time with chores, and it was fine, and it was snow. But I was just constantly fucking afraid that I was just gonna like have a pipe burst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what sucks
me
for you
too.
is also you're a relatively new homeowner.
Yeah,
So
so I
like,
don't know what the fuck
It's
is going on.
mysterious.
Right, there's a lot
Yes,
of unknowns that
yes.
you're dealing with.
and
It's
you're
the
about to
worst
find out
feeling.
how well they built your house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
finding
Find
out,
out
Jeff.
what corners they cut.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm finding out real fast.
You'll get to have somebody come out and they'll be like, "Who did this to your roof?" And you're like, "I just fucking moved
I
here,
don't
dude.
know.
I
The
don't know,
people like
some
you."
asshole."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're treating
Some guy
you
who
like
looked
the
a lot
fucking
like
idiot.
you, who I also paid money to.
Like, a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But good news, that fear never goes away.
Yeah.
Uneasiness, like,
And the problems never subside.
I still need to find someone to fix my roof after the
Oh, your
storms
damage,
back
yeah.
in March. I call places and they're like, "Yeah, we're not taking on any new work. Call us back in 3 months." Or like their phones just get like picked up and hung up like as soon as you call them. Like,
Yeah.
they're just, they don't even. Everyone's just still overworked. It's been months.
We had to get a guy. We had a raccoon stuck up in the attic.
God.
He got it because of those storms. It blew off some. You know those spinny things on top of your
yeah.
roof.
No,
it
yeah.
blew off. That blew off, and I found it in my yard. And I was like, I just forgot about it. I was like, oh, we don't need this garbage anymore. So there's just an open thing, and so yeah, like this raccoon got in, and then you hear it, and it's like, God damn. So yeah, they trapped him and he brought it out. He's like, it was just a juvenile.
That's it's a fucking wild animal. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Throw it in that old lady's yard.
Right.
Just being a teen.
Yeah, but he was like kind of acting like it was just like, my kids are here. Make it sound scarier.
It might have rabies.
Yeah.
I used to rent a house out off of Lake Austin Boulevard, and it was by a restaurant and by a grocery store. So it had lots of like roaches and pests.
A good
In the area?
restaurant that you never went to.
Yes, it's a terrible restaurant.
Good restaurant.
And so as a result, we had to hire like a pest control person to like spray and like kind of keep things under control.
Sure, yeah.
And it was a pier and beam house. And one night I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I could hear something scratching under the floor. Like fuck, like it's like. So I get outside and I look around, and like one of those grates has been chewed through, and it's like a real small hole. Like there's probably a rat under the house, and like it's probably stuck down there chewing. So I called the pest control person, and like I scheduled, they're supposed to come out the next day. Next day passes, no one came out, so I have to call back again. And the pest control person's like, "Oh, the rat's still there?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, I really don't like rats. I really don't want to go deal with it." And I was like, "But you're the exterminator. You're the pest control person. This was part of the
Go back to college then if you don't like rats. Yeah.
It's like saying I don't like roaches. Like,
Right. Or it's like going to the bank and the teller's like, I don't like to handle money.
Yeah.
It's like it's like this is one of the things that people call you for. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll come out. Is that an option? Can you just not come out?
Did you ever tell on, I'm sure you did, on podcast the story of your car in that location?
Yes, where it got egged.
Yeah,
Was
and
it-
you just left it there for, after you moved, you left it there for how
It
long?
was like 6 months.
The car?
Yeah.
Like,
There were just signs. We'd go check on it every once in a while, and there'd just be signs like, for the love of God, move this car, please.
Yeah, because, so
They would egg it. It was-
So it became a challenge then.
Yeah.
It's
like, oh yeah, right. I'm gonna move my car.
Yeah.
It's parked on a public street, legally parked on a public street. Like no one owns the curb. You can park if it's a legal spot. You can park and leave your car wherever the fuck you want.
for as long as you want.
Right.
did you drive it? Was it just a beater that you just didn't want? Like, what was it? Why were you just parking?
If
for
I
6
remember
months?
right, the air conditioner didn't work in that car anymore, and it was summer, and I didn't want to drive it because it was hot as fuck.
I had that same thing
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
So I left it there, and eventually, when it cooled down, I went back and got it. It's like I was in the transition period where like I just gotten the Prius, I think, like the new car.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna drive this. It's like, and I'm gonna sell that car, but it's too hot to sell, and no one's gonna want to buy. Like I had to sell it, but it's like no one's gonna want to buy a car with a broken air conditioner in the summer. I'll just go get it in fall,
Covered in eggs.
yeah, when it's cooler, and then I'll sell
Scrambled
it then. But yeah,
Did you eventually sell it?
I did. Yeah, I saw that car once. I sold it. Then one time when our office was still down south off of Ralph Ablanado, I went to the Chick-fil-A that was down there, and that car was in the drive-thru of the Chick-fil-A.
Oh, did it have the same license plate? And
Yeah, I was
everything?
like, oh shit, that's the car that had the eggs on it.
And it pretended to not see.
Yeah,
yeah.
It had a bunch of chairs in the back. Yes, it's weird when you see a car that you've sold. It's like, oh yeah, that used to be mine, but if I get in it now, I'd be arrested.
Yeah, it's like we used to always see my first wife's Echo all over town.
Yeah.
I still remember the license plate.
I do not remember it anymore.
And don't say it on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
say
do. Because we would see it
I'm
all the time
assuming
and
it's
say it
a-
to each other.
A vanity plate that has a recognizable.
No, it's just a license plate.
Oh.
I don't know.
You learn to sense danger and to avoid it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Different reason for knowing
You
it.
just gotta be careful.
Yeah, I saw my dad's truck after he'd sold it on the news one time. I think it was like a murder, and I was like, "Oh, that's Dad's truck." And then I brought him in. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's my truck." He'd sold it. So.
I remember one time, like when I was
That's not a murder.
alarm,
6 o'clock,
6
guys.
o'clock. When I was a kid, my family had this white Oldsmobile. It was a Delta 88.
I had one. That was my first car.
So I never drove it. I was a little kid. My family, it was like the family car. And eventually, like my family traded it in. They got a minivan or something. And I remember like a couple years later, like I saw our old family car, like being towed somewhere or something. And I grew up in a really small town. So I asked my dad, I was like, oh, look, that's our old car, right? He goes, oh yeah, sold it to so-and-so. They were driving down the road, then they threw it in the reverse while they were driving, and the transmission fell out of it. So now they're taking it to the junkyard to go get rid of it. And like being a kid, I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, that used to be our car, and now it's gonna go get destroyed because someone was driving it and put it into reverse while driving. Like it's not the car's fault, and now it's gonna be like crushed down for no reason. Like it was really sad to me when I was a little kid.
That is sad.
Yeah.
I had a Delta 8. That was my first car. When I was at UT and I drove it, and the transmission went out right off. I was driving on Willow Creek right off Riverside Drive, coming home from work, and the transmission and so I parked it, but it was like near the bus stop, and the city was like, "You've got to move this," and eventually got it fixed. And yeah, I sold it too, and never saw it. But on the way, driving it to the guy's house who I'd sold it to, I was like, please make it to this guy's house, and then it's
his problem.
It's his fucking problem.
Yeah. Used cars are such a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
Mine's been fine. Well, it's good. It's good.
Well, I think like these cars that we're talking about, like there was a period in time where it's like things hadn't been figured out yet.
It was an 80s American car.
Yeah.
Like, it was a crapshoot. Like, it was like a 1984, I think. And it was like, I was really bad at negotiating too. The guy was like, I'd never sold anything. And the guy was like, what's the lowest you'll go? And I gave him a number. And then when he got there, I decided that was too low. And he was like, but you told me 200. And I said, I was just talking. I was like, what?
That's the first time I got stabbed.
So he was so pissed.
I'd be so pissed if that happened to me.
He was so mad, but he went to an ATM to get the other.
I wouldn't do it.
$20 I held out for.
Out of spite.
My roommate was like, what do you mean you were just like my roommate was siding with the guy I sold it to.
And now your roommate's his best friend. You haven't talked to him in 20 years.
His name was Winston, and his license plate, we followed him back, and his license plate said no limits with a Z at the end when we drove back to his place. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, Winston. Sorry I tried to lowball or to squeeze an extra $20 out of you.
That's a lot of money.
You probably had that much in gas in it.
Oh, like at max. Yeah. I mean, when you're in college, yeah, $20 was huge. Yeah.
I remember when I first moved to Austin. God, this is really going to be the old man section of the podcast. When first moving to Austin, I used to fill up at, used to be a Diamond Shamrock off of Old Torf and Montopolis, I think. And I got mad because eventually I was no longer paying 98 cents a gallon. Like, I remember when it went over $1. I was like, God damn, fucking ripoff. It was like, it went from 98 cents to $1.03, and like gas never went back below $1 again.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. It's like the end of an era.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was in high school, This is gonna make me sound old. When I was in high school, gas was like 68 cents.
Whoa.
You could get it. You could still get it in the 60s, and then it was in like the 70s most of my childhood. But I still remember paying like 67, 68 cents for gas.
Okay, is this crazy? My parents will do this thing every now and then where they'll be like, gas prices are too high. We're only going to put $10 in, and then we're going to wait it out. And then, do you do that as well? Or like, I fill every time.
Do I do that now? No, but people used to do that back in the day.
Okay.
My family would do that shit.
I guess that is like you're tightening the belt and stuff like that. And I should probably appreciate that my parents are saving money and putting me, through stuff. But yeah, it's just always like struck me as weird. It's just like you're going to pay for that time because you're going to drive off.
Back.
You're going to burn through that $10 and then you're going to have to go back. And it's just like, just fucking do it while you're there.
Yeah, but did you enjoy the roof over your head and all the electricity that they paid
What about
for?
that food you were eating?
Yeah.
Listen,
I did that. I'm saying that because I literally did that this week. It was like it was like $3.20. And I was like, a half a tank will do it. I'm not gonna.
Really?
I'm not made of money.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna wait until it's somewhere like under $3, and then we'll fill it up.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Mine it's
I work for Inside Gaming. Like it's not like I gotta save my money.
Mine is mostly convenience. If the pump is too slow, I get bored and then I'll stop. If I'm like, I'm gonna be here for the rest of my life pumping this fucking gas. $6 is great, and then
For like 30
what the
seconds?
fuck?
yeah, and then I'll be like, this is a problem for tomorrow, Jeff.
Yeah, then you're just creating
yeah.
more work. Like it's even more of inconvenience and lost time.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
Every Jeff hates tomorrow, Jeff. Totally.
Tomorrow, you mean tomorrow Jeff hates
every previous
Yeah.
Jeff.
Fuck.
He's got hit in the stomach.
I hate tomorrow Jeff too because I know what he's doing to me.
Is it this one down here?
I don't know, man.
No, you hate yesterday, Jeff.
I'm not a fan of any of them, but yeah.
Today, Jeff's all right.
Can I talk about a thing that I'm doing this week?
Yeah,
On
what are you
26. HBO Max, they're going to be letting us have a little Suicide Squad watch party. And it's going to be me, Elise. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. I told them that I would talk about it if they would give me a Sharkman costume. So I'm gonna put this on.
What is...
The shark
is
guy,
it-
he's like...
I saw Eric with it. I was like, is he holding that up to me? Like,
No.
what the?
Yeah, I'm
know.
the King Shark guy from the, the Suicide Squad.
Wait,
Oh,
what do you
now
do?
I know.
The 26th?
It's the 26th, and it's at 4:30 p.m. Central, and we're going to be doing like a pizza watch party of the Suicide
I've
Squad.
already seen the movie, but I may watch it
Yeah.
again with you guys.
We're
Can I,
also
can I
do-
text you jokes?
Absolutely, because then I'll steal them, and I
Right.
just won't give you credit.
Where did Blaine go?
I'm the King Shark guy.
Naue?
I don't remember,
remember
his,
how to say
name.
his name.
I already watched it, and I'm actually really stoked to watch it again. 'cause
I realized that
it's
was,
fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
It was really, really good. I thought the King Shark was a great character in that film.
Yeah, he's very depressing. There's moments where you're just like, poor guy.
He just wants to eat.
Yeah, and he just wants friends. He just wants to seem smart. But yeah, so it's gonna be me, Elise, Lindsay, and I feel like I want to say Matt Bragg. I think I have it listed here.
Do you want to say it that way?
It is Matt. It is Matt Bragg. And we're gonna have bingo cards that if you want to like follow along and like engage with us, we're gonna be playing bingo with Suicide Squad. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think if you haven't seen the movie, you should absolutely watch it. It's a great movie, and it'll be fun to watch it with you guys.
Yeah. So
I was really surprised at how much I liked it, and I definitely want to watch it again. Now that I've seen it once already, now that I know what's going to happen.
there's a code that I have to read because I don't remember, but it's HBO m.ax/watch TSS. It's all lowercase. I think they're probably going to list it. Yeah. I could not remember that, but yeah, come join us. It'll be a lot of fun, and I miss talking to Elise. I haven't seen her and James in a while. So.
Yeah, it's a good movie, ripe for comedy.
Yes.
You'll do fine. You'll do good. Don't get nervous about it.
I need to like actually catch up. I still haven't watched Aquaman.
I might be a little nervous if I were you. Elise is very funny.
This is really funny.
Very talented. James is very funny. Lindsay's very funny. You're going to be amongst some very funny people.
I feel like you're implying that I'm not funny.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
I'll be texting you jokes. You'll get them 45 seconds late because of the stream delay.
Well, then I'm going to be good to go.
Also, Gus has got like 3 good jokes a year.
Yeah.
So.
I've already seen the movie, so I have some prep.
That's good.
I can be ready.
Good, sweet. So yeah, well, thanks to HBO Max. Thanks for the shark costume. Appreciate it. Go sign up. Come join us.
It's a good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a fun event. Like Elise is going to be there being very funny, and Lindsay will be there being very funny, and Blaine will be there, and it just sounds like good.
There's going to be pizza and bingo. That's all I'm there for.
And funny people.
Yeah, some funny people. And Blaine.
I want pizza. It's been a while since I've had pizza. I could go for some pizza.
This is warm. This is real warm. Like it got real warm real fast.
You don't have to wear it. You're not actually King Shark.
I'd like to believe that I am.
I never knew sharks had cutoff sleeves until you showing off the gun.
Can the shark flex?
Oh yeah, let's see the shark flex.
Yeah,
I actually, I do look like the king shark guy. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but yeah, okay.
You just paint me blue.
If you were to eat a pizza right now, like any pizza in the world, well, any pizza within Austin, what would you pick? Like you said, oh, I kind of want pizza now. I know you're living the vegan lifestyle, so.
Oh, if I'm eating a vegan pizza, Via 313 has the best
vegan pizza
option, I think.
But if you were just like having a normal bog standard pizza, you think of what, like
home slice,
pepperoni and mushroom, or
either pepperoni or pepperoni and mushroom.
Okay.
Although I could be convinced to do pepperoni jalapeno.
I don't like to eat pizza without jalapenos. Yeah. No.
Really?
Yeah.
It's home slice all the way for me.
It's home slice, Via 313.
There's Eastside Pies.
Eastside Pies can go eat my butt.
Whoa.
I do not like
Touched a nerve.
It tastes like they make it on saltine crackers. It is so thin. It is.
I like that.
I understand
me
what
too.
Blaine's
I like
talking
a nice
about,
thin
but
crust.
I like
crunchy.
it. But the problem with Eastside Pies is if you don't eat it within the first 20 minutes, it's not any good. It goes bad fast.
After the freeze back in February, I went, like when everything thawed out and like businesses were starting to reopen, I placed an order, like an online order for a pizza from Eastside Pies, the one here by the studio. And I went to go pick it up, and there was a line that went down, out towards airport, and then down airport to get, like, even if you had already placed your order online,
right.
that was the line you had to stand in.
It's like a bread
to get
line,
your pizza.
probably.
It was like, these are all people who've been stuck in their houses for a week, and they're all like, we can finally get out. I want to eat a fucking pizza.
Dude, I've made the transition from home slice to Via 313 now. I think I'm into that Detroit style pizza.
It's good.
It's good.
It is really good. But Millie and I just went, we had like a daddy-daughter vacation, and we went to Chicago for a couple days, and we ate pretty much nothing but deep dish pizza there, which I've never been a huge fan of.
What is your opinion?
I am so fucking in love with Chicago deep dish pizza after that trip, and I wish we had it in Austin.
I always hear if you get it in Chicago, if you get the real deal, you'll love it.
Okay, I'm going to have another hot take. What did you feel of Illuminati's? Did you eat there? That's like the one that you go to.
I didn't eat there, no.
Illuminati's?
They control the world and they make pizza?
No, there's a place called like Illuminati's, and I think that it's a play on of Illuminati.
Yeah,
and I was told when I went to Star Wars Celebration, that's like the Chicago pizza place to go to. Fucking hated it.
We just like popped into whatever was around. It was Lollapalooza that weekend, so it was kind of crazy.
They're still doing that?
Yeah.
Huh?
They're still doing that, huh?
Yeah, it was all of Chicago. Dude, I've never seen so many people clothed only in glitter in my life. It would be like 9 a.m. on a Friday, and then it was like, oh no, it's a rave walking down the street. It's just an embarrassment of flesh. It was kind of awesome, but it was just insane.
Probably not when you're hanging out with your daughter, though. I feel like that would.
Yeah, I think it was pretty awkward for both of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I've been to Chicago a million times and had deep dish, but just something about it was great this time, and now I want it.
We used to have manja here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We still do?
Yeah, we ordered it last week.
Where's the manja?
Up off Burnett?
I'll look it up.
That's... So wait, is the only difference between Chicago and Detroit is it's a circle and a square?
No. Very different.
Is it thicker bread on a Chicago?
On Detroit, the sauce goes on top.
Yeah,
I thought that
and
was
it's
the
like
same thing.
Detroit style pizza. It's like spongy bread with the sauce and everything kind of all on the very top layer. Chicago is like a pie almost.
Yeah. It's like a pie and they call it a pie.
Oh, so it's like, is it a thinner crust but with more stuffing? And it's
more shit
it's a ton of
inside
shit,
it.
and it takes longer to cook.
The manja's north of the Domain. Like between the Domain and that St. David's Hospital that's up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like right there.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, there used to be, the one I always think of was the one that was down here in Guadalupe.
And then there was the other one. The good one was on Lake Austin, yeah. They got divorced, I think. It was a divorced family thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Godzilla that used to be on the manja on the drag is now on top of Wheatsville, if I remember right.
Yes, that's right.
The manja used to be right across from Wheatsville, where Via 313 is now. I never thought about that until right now.
That's something we would probably cover in the Old Men Talk About Austin podcast. If you ever see the Godzilla on Wheatsville and you think, why is there a Godzilla on a fancy grocery store? It's because it used to be at a pizza restaurant. It also made no sense.
I pitched an Old Man podcast too. I thought this.
We should do it.
Yeah.
We have plenty. We have plenty of that around here.
There was a pizza place in Waco where I lived, and it was like the place was so good. Like it was the best pizza in town. The drawback was it had in the back room, sort of in the bar area, and I don't know if it's still up there, but it had a giant Confederate flag. So that was the trade-off. Like the pizza was great, but it's racist pizza. So it was like, I don't know if it's still that, it's Waco, so it might take them another 20 years to take the flag down. But like it was, God, but the pizza's so good.
Well, now that they're looking for a football, looking for a football conference, they're going to take it down. to try to behave and like fit in.
How long were you in Waco for?
I was almost 8 years. So right out of college, I was a reporter there for the Trib.
I would love to talk to you about Waco sometime. That's an interesting city.
I loved it. Yeah. I mean, I stayed too long because I was kind of lazy and wasn't really good at my job or motivated. So I was like there for a long, but I like.
You're looking at, that's why Gus and I are still at Rooster Teeth.
I spent my whole 20s there, really, and people were like, "Oh, it must be so bad to have your 20s robbed." Like, but I love, it was a blast.
You go outside of like campus, like on the I guess the west side of 35. It's like I went to a coffee shop over there. I like passed through when I went camping. It's like, oh, Waco's kind of nice. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it was.
The streets are like nice. It's like cobblestone.
I toured Baylor. I thought about going to college there.
Really?
Yeah, decided.
I don't think you would have liked it.
No, I decided again. After the tour, I was like, no, that's not for me.
It wasn't for you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you weren't for them.
Not my speed.
Honestly.
No.
There would have been a few nerds you would have hung out with, but that wasn't the overall culture.
Yeah. This isn't a super local thing. This is more of a Texas thing. So I guess it's a local thing. Have you ever had Fuego Taco? They have it at most college towns. They've had it in Waco. They have it in College Station as well. It's just like, it's fucking banger tacos, dude.
Fuego Tortilla Grill?
Yeah, they have like they got really like they got like thick, fat fucking tortillas, which I feel like I'm still on the hunt for here in Austin.
That sounds terrible.
They have a Dr. Pepper taco.
Come on.
Yeah, Waco, home of Dr. Pepper.
Really bad. You're not selling me at all on this.
They have really good queso, really good white queso. Whenever I used to pass through Waco on my way to Dallas, I would get a pack of tortillas and just a bunch of
thick
queso.
tortillas.
Thick tortillas.
What's wrong with thick tortillas?
Oh.
Wait, Garrick, what was the place? I had done fucking out.
Do they have Dr. Pepper tortillas or just regular?
It's like they like braise the meat in Dr. Pepper, and I know it sounds like gimmicky and shitty. It's pretty fucking tasty.
My grandma used to do it all the time when she would make tacos.
Yeah, it's like barbecue stuff. God damn it!
Not all grandma's ideas were good.
It tastes like barbecue sauce, but it's
Grandma
just like
can
a twang
fuck up a recipe too every now and then.
God damn it!
Did you ever go to the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's cool. Like you can learn how they made Dr. Pepper. Like
that was like the last independent bottler for a long time, right?
Yeah, something. The main thing I remember is the first floor is Dr. Pepper, and you can learn all about Dr. Pepper. And it's like it's sort of old animatronics, like they haven't been kept up, so they're creepy. But the second floor is the Free Enterprise Institute. It's a real tonal shift, and they're just these photos, these portraits of all these like old white guys, and you just learn how great Free Enterprise is.
Oh.
So it's the Dr. Pepper Museum and Free Enterprise.
I thought you were building to a bit or something.
Yeah,
No, that's it. You just learn how great capitalism is with your Dr. Pepper. It's hilarious.
When I was in Oklahoma one time, I went on Route 66 and they had this place called Pops. And it was just it was like a gas station, but it was just this giant fucking store and it was just nothing but soda. And it was like every soda imaginable.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was fucking rad. I got like 3 12-packs or 3 6-pack. It's called Pops. It was in Oklahoma off Route 66. And they have like a bunch of it was like a building in a place that was built in the 60s. And at the time, I'm sure the architecture was like super cool and then it probably aged out. But when you go there now, it looks like it was built like yesterday. It's like it's like that mid-century modern cool looking shit. It's really rad.
Oklahoma?
Yes. Not a mass to be seen, but it was still really cool.
Pop Soda Ranch.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
They also had ranch soda probably. I know they had pickle soda. I bought one.
You know what I did on Route 66 once? You guys ever done that musical highway thing?
No.
I've heard of it. I've never done it.
I did it last year when I was in Arizona.
Do you like turn into a radio station or something?
No. So what happens is there's only like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them in the world. And I think half of them are in Asia. So I think there's 2 or 3 in North America. But there's this little section of the interstate, or the highway, Route 66 rather, where on the right they've graded the road just to the side of the median. And if you hit it at 45 miles an hour, it plays a song.
Oh.
And it goes dun, 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 and then it plays America the Beautiful, I think is what it played. Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It's like those rumble strips that you hit.
It's like a rumble strip,
When you hit it at the right speed, then it's...
And you just hear the song.
It's a real thing?
It's a real thing. I had never heard of it. My girlfriend told me about it, so we went and did it. And then we did it like 8 times because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's totally there. And there's a bunch of them in Japan, I think. And then I think one in the Pacific Northwest.
I wonder if they could make the rumble strips in a certain way that it could be like a voice. You know?
Yeah, I assume they can. I mean, it's
Fuck you.
the song. Like you hear it and you're like, holy shit, this is the absolute song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does sound interesting.
That's my what's that?
That does sound interesting.
That's my only Route 66 story. I think if you want later, Gus, I think I have it recorded on my phone. I'll
I'm
play it
surprised
for
you didn't
you.
post that somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
What? I don't need the video. I can hear it
He's
right
got
now.
it. He's nailed it.
Brian, your microphone thing is going to smell like shit after
Sorry,
this podcast. It's just smell like sour shit.
At home, I find myself smelling my mic all the time because it smells so bad.
Yeah.
Because I've been like spitting on it for a year and a half. Like, oh man, this is terrible.
Dude.
Fuck.
My
I
fuck face
can't
mic is
stop.
pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm like doing something and I'm like busy and I don't want to take my hands off the keyboard and mouse, and I'll like move it with my nose and I'll be like, oh fuck, God, this is shit.
If you do, they have those in Austin too. I've heard those rumble strips, but it just plays a shitty Stevie Ray Vaughan song that you've heard on KLBJ. Like
So
every
any of them.
Friday. Yeah, yes. Could have sounded better when Jimi Hendrix played it.
You can besmirch the name of Stevie Ray Vaughan?
I'm just so sick of his fucking music.
Dude,
Yeah,
I am. Can I say I'm right there with you?
fucking fuck.
Oh
Stevie
my
Ray
God.
Vaughan. I hope that
Right
statue
there with
gets
you.
struck
It's
by light.
fine,
I'm
but who
very
It's fine,
cares?
yeah, but right.
It was. I think it mattered in 1980.
Yeah,
you know, to that
yeah.
scene.
I just remember really
My
clearly.
dad was a big fan.
When Houston was flooding, I listened. Like I pulled up Texas Flood came on my shuffle, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty." You know, I felt really deep in that moment. And for you to be making fun of Stevie Ray Vaughan like that, he was underwater when the flood happened. His little statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine now. I mean,
Statues don't need to breathe.
It's true. I don't.
No, but it's
I thought
not,
that's like making fun of a.
it's not water that killed them. If there was like a helicopter overhead or something, that would be in bad taste.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like I don't hate it. It's
Texas
like you said.
Outlaw Rocks. That's
It's
just
like
not
you
for
said.
me.
It's fine, but it's like let's be honest. Y'all mainly like him because he was in Austin.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. He wasn't good enough. You know,
No,
it's
his
like
guitar
classic
was
Austin.
great. He was good.
He was
He was
copying
great or he was
somebody
good. They're two different things.
I guarantee you,
Yeah. You
nobody
talked
in
yourself
chat,
down in
Nobody
that
in chat
sentence.
knows who Stevie Ray Vaughan is.
Yeah, y'all do.
There's gonna be one fucking dude in there who's like,
fucking
"Shut up."
agreed with the old men
Oh, wait,
here.
Mr. Steel Crayon says Stevie is awesome. All right, so
There
you're,
you go.
you're one, at least one person.
All right.
I'm sure my dad's rolling over in his grave right now, but I just never got it.
I actually
Yeah, me
text my
either.
dad every
No,
time I hear a
me
Stevie Ray Vaughan song because we used to listen to it on our drives to high school because he was my coach, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan's on."
Did you see that thing the other day on that apparently back in 2015 or 2016, Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig did a Lifetime movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen
like a
anything
woman
about
in distress Lifetime movie.
It's called like
these
a
are-
deadly adoption.
A deadly adoption.
Yeah, and supposedly it's serious.
Yeah.
Like they take it seriously, and it's not worth watching because of that.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
watched
heard.
a trailer. I was like, oh, this looks terrible. I wanted to watch it, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's only like on Tubi and Pluto TV. It's like, I don't have either of those, and I'm not going to sign up.
And it's one of those things where it's probably a funny bit for 6 minutes, and then you're like, oh, this should have just been an SNL skit.
right,
Right.
But I can't
Yeah.
imagine
Right.
like being one of the other leads or being like the director who's like, all right, we're pumping out 4 Lifetime movies today. Oh, the call sheet says Will Ferrell's on this one. Can someone? Oh no, he's here. Oh, okay. That's weird. You know.
I feel like that would have been a weird set to be on too because they were probably high on their own shit, knowing that I'm
Totally.
too good for
Yeah.
this, and it probably was just not a great time for this cast and other cast and crew.
And you're this sort of just workaday actor who's got to, be opposite them. And
Yeah,
like-
and they're fucking goofing between
Yeah,
takes.
yeah.
They're like, this fuck is Lifetime director's talking here.
Anyway, so then I told Lorne, you call that
Yeah,
a limo? Yeah. It's like, God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rolling pennies for gas here. Come on. Right.
Yeah, it must be terrible because I'd never heard of it. So do with that what you will.
If they like played it real melodramatic and stuff like that, I could see that being
Right.
entertaining. But if they're like playing it pretty straight, then why watch that? Like,
Why watch any Lifetime? I mean,
Well, listen.
I don't know.
I do watch me some Lifetime movies. I enjoy the Hallmark Channel as well from time to time. That's good hotel TV right there. Stuck in a hotel room on a
Yeah.
Saturday night, you got nothing to do.
Yep.
Throw on Lifetime, watch about somebody's nanny trying to murder her to steal the husband. Great 2 hours.
when I was in Nashville for that conference, my hotel TV was Forensic Files on Headline News.
Mm-hmm.
Just like watch people murdering their spouses for 4 hours.
Did Esther ever walk in and was just kind of like, hey, this is like your 8th episode of this? Are you
She loves Forensic Files more than I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So have you ever walked in on
enables
She was like, "Oh, I've seen this one. It's the so and so did that." Like, "Oh, okay, cool." She's like, "Oh, this one was arsenic." Like,
She's like, you know how he could have gotten away with that one? Because I do.
well, we had that conversation too.
We were like, I was kind of like that, except for, I don't even know if they have many more, but infomercials, just sort of late night. We would just watch and shop at home when they would do like the baseball cards, like Don West and all that shit. The best.
I love the knife shows, the late at night shows. Those are great.
The swords and shit.
What's confusing to me is sometimes you watch those infomercials and then they treat it like it's content, right? Like you're watching a program.
Yeah.
And then they cut to commercial. And the commercial is a commercial for the info, like the same thing they're selling.
Yep.
It's like so meta. It's like I'm watching a commercial in the commercial for the same thing.
Yep.
I remember trying to prank call into one of those when I was a kid, you know, at a sleepover. And the lady that was on like the hotline or whatever just chewed my fucking ass.
The screener?
I had never known an adult to like berate a child and cuss at him until I called into that. And she was like, "Listen here, you little shit.
You were one too many."
Yeah.
And today she had time.
How old are you? And I was like, 40? You know, like, no. She was pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure she bought you were 40.
I actually, in my pitch session with Hannah last week, I pitched a show where it's kind of like No Idea IKEA in presentation, but you just review shit we buy off infomercials at 3 a.m. and then see like how well it actually works. And like Flex Seal, the slap chop, all that shit. Just
Food
whatever the current ones are. Food
all that
dehydrator,
shit,
food rehydrator.
Yep.
To steal a run joke.
Every now and then, if I'm like up at like 2 a.m., I need to go to bed. I'll go back and watch those old infomercial bloopers. It's just the fucking best shit. Like guys like taking a dive off the set from a ladder, and it wasn't locked in. That was my fault. And they're like bleeding out of their skull. And you're
Or the guy who's like hitting the sword and it breaks and like stabs him.
it's pure steel. That's great.
We watched one, this was in college, and it was one of those bracelets, but it had like healing potential or what, you know, like
the balance bands?
No, it wasn't it was like
was it copper?
Probably copper.
It was something, but my roommate got the idea to call them because he just wanted to know, how does it work? Like, what is and he was on the phone with them for like an hour until he and he hung up and he goes, "It has something to do with crystals."
Of course it does.
Yeah, fucking crystals.
Meanwhile, the guy he was talking to was at Telenetwork, or was at a call center.
Yeah.
It was somebody get paid $8 an hour. You or I were managing him.
I was telling these guys before the podcast we were sitting out here. I don't know how the topic came up, but I was telling them about the time we hired a guy to work there. Then he came back in the middle of the night during the midnight shift to rob the place.
Whoa!
But he to open the door, he put his own employee code in.
Yes.
So we knew who it was.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, and then like the night shift guy was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get out of here!" Like, I'm trying to work. Like, well, and the night shift was like 1 or 2 guys back then.
I remember the dude who it was.
I do too.
That's some Wes Anderson bottle rocket
That
level
was
of
the dude. By the way,
paper.
the dude who ran them off was the guy we had to stop selling guns in the parking lot.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
Yes, he was.
They're like, you can't keep selling guns in the parking lot at work.
Because this midnight shift was slow.
Yeah.
So he would just arrange like to meet if people wanted to buy guns from him. If there wasn't any calls he was on, he would just go out to the parking lot and sell guns.
That guy was like an NPC in Borderlands.
Yeah.
I remember that guy.
Call centers now they probably don't like, they're doing work from home, right?
They were doing work from home back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big problem we had back then was doing like prioritizing VoIP traffic over your home internet so that the call sounded good. So like even if you were downloading shit on your computer, there was still enough reserved bandwidth for your phone call. So like that was but that was in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's easily been solved.
And we had that solved then. I mean, when Gus and I quit, the company had about when you started, they were about 30, I think.
Yeah.
When I started, they were about 60. When we quit, they were at about 250.
Yeah.
And I think not too long after that, they were at like 1,300. And I think the vast majority of those people worked from home. Yeah. They're probably still around there now.
Did you get like, stock when they first started?
No. It was a mom and pop company.
Got it.
No, I had to burn bridges to leave there too. Unfortunately, a little bit.
Would like they just
me,
wouldn't let you go, or?
Well, I had, so Gus and I were like kind of partners there for a long time, and then he left before I did.
Okay.
There was another partner that I had who was a friend of ours. He took it very personally that Gus and I left Ajax. And I think they ended that friendship. And he then took over my position and told me that I would never be eligible to work there again if I left, which that part sucked. But the other part of it was Bernie was a vice president and there was another dude who was a vice president. They were both cool guys. But Bernie the other guy, they offered me vice presidency of the company, but they said I'd have to stop making Red versus Blue. I said I had to choose between the company or Rooster Teeth because it was dividing my focus, and so I did.
I'm trying to imagine the alternate dimension where Geoff did not do that and was like at the call center, like what you'd be doing right now.
I'd probably be doing okay. It's a pretty successful business.
Yeah, it's a very successful business. I mean,
I sometimes wonder if I made the right choice.
They have like we were in like on the ground floor of a business that got really huge.
Yeah,
really huge.
Yeah,
did very well.
Yeah, but you were on the ground floor for a different business.
Yeah, no,
For sure.
This one is more ours than that one
ever could have been.
I do have these moments like when I was getting ready for this podcast, I was like, oh yeah, Gus and Geoff are like, yeah, I get to be on a podcast with two of like my kind of childhood friends, and also Brian's gonna be there, and he's cool. So I'm glad you guys came over here. Yeah, it's nice and right.
God, it was rough. Like you talk about the early days, we're getting like $6 an hour, like $8 an hour. Like I mean, there was times when like I didn't have money for food. It was just like I'm gonna order a pizza tonight, and this will be my dinner tomorrow and the day after. Like I'm gonna eat a little bit of the pizza and just like keep it in my fridge.
We were all
space it out.
We were all so broke that we would have to stop people from taking the free food at work home,
or like the free sodas,
free sodas and like snacks and shit. Like, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah, like we ended up having to put a soda vending machine in, but the company sold the sodas at cost.
Yeah,
so it's like they weren't making money on it, but it's like you had to have something, otherwise people were just taking like
people would just come in on Sundays and just clean the place out. Yeah,
I did that when I worked in a movie theater in college. Like I had no money because it was like minimum wage, and I would just eat popcorn, or like just sort of, there were things we could have from the concession stand, and like that was many a meal.
I'm sure there was a period in time where like the smell of popcorn probably just turned your stomach for a while.
Oh yeah, that and Rico's cheese.
Oh yeah,
Rico, although I still kind of like it in a weird way.
And what's funny to me about Rico's cheese is they sell it at HEB in that giant metal tub.
Big old fucking thing.
It's like, who needs like a gallon of Rico's cheese?
That was liquid gold in a movie theater. Yeah, liquid gold. People loved it.
All right, well, I feel like it's time. We got to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to see you guys next week. Like I said, we'll be in a temporary location for a little while we get the new place that's just right over there settled. But we'll be back same time. Different, slightly different look.
Yeah.
We'll see you all then.
And I probably won't be here because there'll be somebody better.
I don't know who. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll do an old man podcast or something. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, if you like that video, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. Also, if you like shows about friends stabbing each other in the back, we got a brand new show for you to check out. It's called Camp Betrayal. You can click the link down below right now. Watch it. Do it.